welcome to Around the Block. I'm Carrie King along with Kent Ogle and Jacqueline Ferris.
Hey, everybody.
I realize that I'm not usually here. I haven't been here in a while. And Kent's joining us on Thursday.
Yeah.
We're getting him more days than just Friday, which we always love. A little
I'm
more
glad to
Kent
be
Ogle
here.
in our
Thank
lives.
you. That's kind.
Don't we, Jacqueline?
No complaints.
No complaints at all. All right. So it's very good to see you all. So I say we just dive right in. How
Sure.
about it? So, we hit August and we start talking about back to school. And then, of course, we have to talk about what else? Football season. Yeah,
True,
right.
right.
Even though it's
Yeah.
10,000 degrees outside right
It
now.
is
And I
so
like
hot
a cool
outside.
fall.
It is hard to think about.
Yes, it is kind of, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
We've
it's
been
like,
lucky this morning. We had a little cloud cover around for a while and some rain up north, but we know what's coming this afternoon.
oh, I know.
Buckle
And
up.
for the next 22 days, I'm joking there. I'm
No,
being a little sarcastic,
you're
but
right. The extended forecast looks tough.
it does. It does. So are you both ready? Jacqueline, are you ready for back to school?
I'm tying some loose ends, but I think so. I'm going to wait for the sales that happen when
Oh.
school got started. That's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Okay,
We talked
good
about
deal.
it yesterday. It was Heather's tip. Wait for the sales after tax-free weekend.
No kidding. Okay. That's
Okay.
interesting.
And
Yeah.
I love a good shopping tip and I love a good bargain. So there you go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's just dive right into to football season. And the University of Oklahoma's tailgate is expanding, which is crazy to me because it's already so huge,
It is
right?
huge
OSU
already.
is the same way.
Right.
They're huge and fun and always great fans. But they announced yesterday at OU that they're introducing this new turnkey tailgating experience. So it's going to be a Boyd Lawn, which is, if you know, it's down there at that North Oval. And this is in response to opening it back up to the public for tailgating. So they did that last season and it exceeded their expectations. I mean, there was some grumblings before I had heard, but then once it got started, people really enjoyed it. People liked it,
Mm-hmm.
and expanding it. And so they're going to do that again. And of course, we do have all the details on k4.com.
I'm going way, way back here, but there along Boyd, I had some friends that lived in the so-called Yellow House that was right on the corner there
Okay.
at the stadium. And of course, like everybody else on that street, they sold their parking spaces in their front lawn when they rented there. And back in those days, I mean, they also would keep a cooler of different beverages out there that you could buy as well.
Always.
And I mean, those guys cleaned up on those days.
Well, I mean, I would have done the same thing, right? Would you?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're already going to have to deal with it. So
Yeah.
why not make a little
You can't
cash
go
on the side,
anywhere,
right?
right,
You can't go anywhere.
Exactly.
I mean, you're there for the day or you've left the day before and are
Right.
coming back, right?
And I sat in their front yard and listened to the first Rocklahoma, by the way, since they lived right next door to the stadium.
Really?
And
Back when it was there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doobie Brothers, Van
Okay.
Halen, all those guys. Yeah.
All those guys.
I didn't get to see it. I just heard it.
But you know what? Sometimes that's okay
That was
too.
okay. Yeah.
I mean, if that's the best you can do, it's like, oh, but I at least got my foot in the door. Like
Right.
I have a really good friend of mine, and I love going to concerts because music is just part of my soul.
Right.
But she says the same thing. She says, it doesn't matter if I'm in the nosebleed section, my foot's in the door and I'm getting to hear them.
That's
right?
it. That's the thing.
Yeah, and hear it live.
But that's cool there along Boyd. I'm glad to see they're bringing that back because that's all part of the experience of going to a
Absolutely.
game.
Absolutely. If you're going to a game in person, you might as well take advantage of all the experiences before, during, and after, right?
We have some hardcore tailgaters here at Channel 4
We
that go
do.
to all the games.
We do.
Yeah.
For both OU and
That's
OSU.
right. Exactly.
Right? I think we actually have a larger OSU
I think
contention.
we might too. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I've never been to the OSU tailgate. So I'm going to have to do that one of these times though.
Right. I've been by before to say hello, but there are those that are there all day.
All day, yes,
Yeah.
and enjoy every moment
That's
of it.
right.
And that is awesome. I love it that it brings them joy. Well, speaking of this, the Norman Public Schools is saying, you know what? That opening day, we're just not going to have school. So that's going to be on September 4th. They are actually not going to have class on that Friday because that is the home opener.
Wow.
And the school district says that, again, we just talked about it with all the incoming traffic from fans and the bus routes and the staff, they would just face really huge
Right.
challenges getting to and from school, even though they don't have anything to do with OU, right?
Right.
But
Right.
you've got to deal with the overflow. So they are adjusting that schedule.
Very few weekday games, in
Right.
college. So that's
Right.
understandable there. But I bet other kids around the state are like, what? They get the day off?
How is that
I
fair?
know.
It's like, well, but they'll make up for it in some other way, though. What do you want to? What do
Oh,
you want to bet?
without question,
I
for
think
sure.
because you have to have so many hours of instruction and all of that, so it's like they're gonna end up doing the same amount of work you
Yeah,
do.
they have to have their hours.
Yep, yep.
That's right.
So definitely need to think about that. So, do you have a preference? Do you watch football, or are you to the point where it's like I'm just gonna sit at home and watch it
I watch most of it at
at home?
home. I do like it. I have a friend that will run up to Stillwater just to do the tailgate and then go home and watch the game.
Oh wow.
Okay, that's fun.
And
Okay,
I ride up
fair.
there with him sometimes. It's really only about 30, 40 minutes from where I live, so it's not bad. And you kind of beat the crowd getting back. I mean, nobody's coming back
Right.
right before
That's
the game,
true.
so yeah, we go up and do the tailgate thing and then just come back and watch the game at home. But I do like to go in the stadium and watch, and I've
Oh
had
yeah,
some great experiences
yeah,
there.
definitely. Jacqueline.
I'm definitely at home, but I do like this sneaking in the tailgate before and then beating the traffic back idea. That's really smart.
Yeah, traffic is a big thing for me now. The older you get, the more important parking and traffic is. You know what I
Oh
Yeah,
mean? Isn't
gosh,
that funny?
yes.
It's
right.
like, but
Yes.
parking isn't the sexiest topic.
Mm-mm.
However, it's a very important
It
topic,
is
right?
indeed, without
Because I
question.
don't want to get towed. I want to park legally,
Right.
but I
Yes.
don't want to park 80 miles away either.
And
Not
Yeah.
that
it's
I
expensive.
don't mind walking. I don't, but I still want to. I don't want it to take a hike in and a
Right.
hike out.
And that brings up the point about these mass transit systems that are being
Yeah.
talked about. We'll see how those work out for game day. Maybe a really great option for a lot of people.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that would be a marvelous
Yeah,
idea.
if you could park downtown Oklahoma City near some restaurants, whatever, go have lunch, hop on one of those, and ride it right up to the stadium. I'm
Sounds
in.
nice.
Yeah.
You bet. You bet.
Now that's not going to help out too much in Stillwater, I don't think,
No,
for a
but
while.
we'll work on that one. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to come up with some other creative ideas.
Yes.
Okay, well, we are going to take a quick break and we will come back and talk about this big donation from the Luther Fire Department. Welcome back to Around the Block here on K4 Plus. I'm Carrie King along with Kent Ogle and Jacqueline Ferris. And we were talking about school and it's back to school, back to college days. But teachers are going back too, and they've been preparing, all summers. I think some people have this misconception that teachers don't work during the summer,
Total
but they
misconception.
do work during the
Yes.
summer, right? But the Oklahoma City public school teachers, they've been really hard at work trying to figure out getting their classrooms ready. What are we going to do? Getting their game plan together. But some, their first year. This is their right out of college. This is their first year. So the Oklahoma City Public Schools Foundation has this teacher pipeline program, which I think is really cool and interesting because it's kind of I think it is a stepping stone between college graduation and then that first day in the classroom. So, and this can also help with the teacher shortage,
Right.
that we're seeing. But this one teacher, she's going to teach, I think, okay, second grade at Fillmore Elementary, and she's going through this pipeline, and the foundation has paid for this training and this preparation that she's undergoing. In fact, they say so far 48 people have graduated from the pipeline, and 90% of them are staying within the district, which helps with that
Yeah,
teacher shortage.
retention, all of that. It's great news. Really cool stuff.
Right? I think this is fascinating, and I'm so happy that somebody's doing it, and it's really neat because you know you need to give them a little help and a little assistance. The school districts can only do so much because they're tasked with doing so much already, fewer resources,
Right.
but yet education is so important, for our state and for our future.
No doubt about it. And
Um,
if you're looking for a place, by the way, to put your charitable dollars, there's lots of those Amazon wish lists that are out there for
yes,
these different classrooms. You know what? I mean, you can give $100 here and there to different charities and this, that, but $100 for a classroom for a teacher, that can go a long way to helping out several students in the class that just don't have the things that they need. And we like to think, yeah, the legislature's providing the money to give them one. You know what? It really doesn't cut it for getting everything they need. And these teachers go into their own pockets to
Oh,
do that sometimes. So,
yeah.
and they shouldn't be doing that. And we want to help out. So that's a great place to put your charitable dollars right now.
Absolutely.
And there's also, I know from experience, I used to teach high school. Amazon wishlist is great, but also Donors Choose. And
Oh,
it's very popular.
DonorsChoose.org or .com?
DonorsChoose.org.
.org. Okay.
And all sorts of teachers go through that Donors Choose website, but there's a lot of vetting process that goes on with the website. So you don't have to
oh,
feel nervous about what your
I'll
dollars are
take a look
going
at that
to.
one. Yeah.
And teachers with those sorts of websites, they really are getting true classroom supplies. And a lot of times it's not the glamorous stuff.
Right.
It is Kleenex, it is hand wipes, it
Mm-hmm.
is just basic needs because the school districts honestly do not have the means to cover
Right.
all the essentials.
You
right.
know,
And
I'm
parents are
putting that
being
in my
asked
phone
to,
right now.
Yeah.
right?
Donors
And
choose.
parents get a list too that they
Mhm.
must that they have to get, and that's getting harder and harder. Everything is so much more expensive
I'll tell
right
Absolutely.
you
now.
what, I looked at
Absolutely.
that list last night. It's so much more expensive, it feels like, just than last year. Just the
Mm-hmm.
cost of basic supplies, the pens and pencils and notebooks
Right.
and then when your kid gets older, the computers.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
gosh, yeah.
Goodness.
Right. And they
Absolutely.
go through that stuff too. It's
Yeah,
kind of
they
remember
do.
this. It's not a one-time purchase for a lot of
No.
those things either.
No,
So
not at all. Yeah.
Right. Well, and this is exciting for this pipeline program. The MBA Foundation this week awarded it a $50,000 grant.
Oh wow,
I mean,
that'll
and that's
go
going
a
to
long
create a
way.
mentorship
Yeah.
right.
for these teachers that are going through this program, which we hope will go right back into an Oklahoma classroom,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
That's
And
for the pipeline program. Yeah, for the
yes,
teachers. So that's awesome.
yes,
That's
I love
fantastic.
that. I absolutely love
Way to
that.
go, NBA. They just keep finding a way to give back.
That's just really exciting too, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
They're the community supports them,
That's right.
and they show that they are supporting the community, and I feel it's a two-way street.
Right. That's a nice partnership. So when you spend your money on those NBA seats, we know how much those cost.
Yes, yes, absolutely,
But at the same
absolutely.
time,
E-
look at that. They're giving back too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even if we're cheering from the sidelines or I'm watching it on television, I'm
Yeah.
still supporting them, right?
That's right. You sure
And
are.
I buy Thunder gear too,
That's
So
it.
Yeah.
hey,
It
and
all
then
adds up.
yeah, and this is an amazing grant from the NBA Foundation.
Good
That's
stuff.
awesome. Okay, we're going to take another quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Around the Block here on K4 Plus. We're so happy you're joining us, or if you're joining us on K4.com too. We're everywhere, as our promos say. We're everywhere.
Right.
Okay, so we were talking earlier about the heat, and there's just not really much relief in sight other than we had a little cloud cover today, which,
Right.
Kent, you're right. I was up very early this morning out before 6 a.m. To go to the gym, and it was like, oh, it's kind of nice because it's a little overcast. It was like, woo, all right.
What a treat because it's unusual.
Yes, yes, and then we're expecting more. However, this also brings up the fact that you've got to be so careful with anything that's burning or outside, right? So this is just one fire that firefighters have been called out to, but they went to this scene. It was an unattended burn pile, which I don't know that they should ever be unattended. I
Right.
mean, I just don't know that that's really safe, but the lack of rain, moisture, the heat, one tiny spark can turn into something giant
Right.
and devastating in just a short amount of time. So really, you need to be careful. You probably don't need to be burning, but many cities and counties require permits. I know some don't, but you need to check and make sure
Right.
that it's permitted or that it's allowed at that particular time, right?
And it hasn't even been that windy. So it doesn't take much in
Oh,
these dry conditions just for something to, catch a few things on the edge of your fire and it takes off.
absolutely. And make
Yes.
sure you have a water source
Yeah.
nearby if you're
Good
going to
point.
do it so that you can jump on it fast.
Yes, that's a great point right there. And a lot of folks don't have trash service around
Right.
Oklahoma that live out in the country, and
Mm-hmm.
you try to wait and you try to wait, and that piles up, and pretty soon, like, I've got to burn this stuff, and yeah, just try to be careful if you can for sure.
Yeah,
Because,
absolutely.
and you know how hot it is. The gear those guys have to
Oh,
wear.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
it is just brutal to. And you'll see them. They're trying to stay hydrated. Sometimes they can't even, and they're pros, and they can't stay hydrated enough.
right. I
Yeah.
know, and it's that, and that's the last thing we need because then that's heat exhaustion,
Right.
Mhm.
heat stroke, sunstroke. It's like
Yeah.
that's serious and it's real. I mean,
Yeah.
my sister had it when she was very, very young, and she is so like sensitive now, and it's just the way it is.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just not something to mess around with,
At
right? So
all.
if you have to burn, make sure you have a permit if that's allowed in your neck of the woods, wherever you are. But then make sure it's attended.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of firefighters, love firefighters because they're first responders. They're amazing, and uh, I just think they're everyday heroes. But a beer truck was spotted outside the fire department at Luther. So yeah, here we go. This bud's for you. However, they were not making the usual delivery. So
Right.
it wasn't Bud Light or whatever version of it you want. They were actually delivering pallets of water to the Luther firefighters.
Which is
Isn't that
awesome. That
amazing?
is
I
so
I love
nice.
that because again, like you were saying, they chug this stuff, but they need to be hydrated more so when they're wearing that gear
Yeah,
and out
exactly.
trying to stop
They
fires.
have to take it with them on the engines and on the brush pumpers and everything else. And it looks like a big old stack of beer, but again, it's it's
Right,
not.
right. So it might have taken you a little aback if you drove by and saw this giant beer truck sitting in front of the fire
Right.
department. Like it's like, is the party here and I didn't get an
Right.
invite?
Now,
What?
where are my tax dollars
That's
going?
right. Well, guess what? It's not what you think.
Right.
See, don't assume.
No, I'm glad they're doing that. That's some good corporate citizenship right
Right?
there.
I
Yeah.
think so too. That's just really pretty amazing.
Very nice.
So hats off to Budweiser for that giant donation. And speaking of wildfires, let's talk about this one quickly. The Choctaw Nation and the Oregon wildfires.
Oof.
The fires up there are just out of control in the Pacific Northwest for days. I have friends, we have old family friends that are up there and they're safe, but still very dangerous. These photos are from the Choctaw Nation showing that their engine is patrolling through the Coleman Creek fire. You may have heard that on our newscast,
Yeah.
national
Right.
news. The firefighters are responding. What we're calling a preparedness level 5, which is extreme wildfire
Right.
activity. And Jacqueline, you said that the hotel from The Shining, remember the movie The
Of
Shining?
course.
You got to do the line,
Yes,
Kent.
I just read, I know it's, I mean, not the
Here's
best
Johnny.
resource, but I saw online on Instagram that the Shining hotel that was used in the movie is imminently being threatened by the Coleman fire that is very much still burning.
So that's scary, and it's
Right.
been in danger before.
Yeah, and if you haven't
And
seen the
say,
movie or read the book, it was set in a ski lodge. It's closed
Mhm.
basically, or an outdoor lodge. It's closed for the winter. Hotel, is that what it is? A tourist
yes,
hotel.
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Closed, right?
yes.
Yeah. So
Closed for the winter.
closed for
Yeah.
the winter, right? Exactly. And they stay there, and it turns into a horror movie. But yeah, but that's a horror movie by itself. If that place is threatened, because it's been a mainstay in that area for many, many years.
I know. So,
Yeah.
definitely thinking about all those impacted that are, not only live there, but also
Right.
the firefighters that have lived there
Mhm.
and now are battling these extreme levels, like
Yeah. And
levels like we just haven't seen in a
those
very long
Choctaw
time.
Nation firefighters that are there, we appreciate their work.
Absolutely. 1,000%. All right. We're going to take another quick break and be back in a minute. Welcome back to Around the Block on this Thursday. Yesterday, I kept thinking it was Thursday all day long.
Well,
I hate it when I do
right.
that. I know. I'm like, no, it is not Thursday. It's Thursday today.
Okay.
All right. So, we're celebrating America 250. So the America 250, celebrating that. Our state fair is about to happen. And guess what? These two worlds are coming together.
Oh boy.
So the America 250 wheel is coming to Oklahoma. This is cool.
It's
So
huge.
this Ferris wheel stands 230 feet tall. That may not sound very tall.
Oh,
That's
no,
huge.
sounds tall to
It
me.
sounds
That's huge.
scary.
I don't like heights anyway.
Oh, okay. So this is actually the world's largest portable observation wheel. I love
Okay.
the way they've painted it too. This
Yeah,
is
that's
cool.
cool.
So at the top, get this. If you're at the very top of it, you can see 14 miles. That's how tall this is. 14 miles. I love this. Now, if you don't like heights, Kent, I can see how that
I
might not be
know.
very pleasant.
I'm when I get to the top and go, hey, I left my garage door open.
I wonder. I bet you could close it. I bet it would reach.
Line of sight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I do like the fact that the gondolas there, though, they're enclosed. It's not like you're sitting in that little rocking.
Wheel, right.
Yeah.
Rocking back and forth,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And there are
gosh.
45 gondolas, and they show each one showcases an American president.
That's cool.
I love this. And of course, our fair kicks off on September 17th. All right,
And
so
we'll finally
I'm
get some
gonna,
rain, right?
yeah, I
Oh,
would go to the
yes.
fair just to see this.
Me too.
Okay, so we were talking quickly about Rush Springs and the Watermelon Festival. Of course, that's quickly coming up. We were talking about we had some of these famous watermelons in the studio yesterday.
Right.
Oh my gosh, they were so delicious.
They were amazing.
It was so good. I mean, if
yeah.
you have never had a Rush Springs watermelon, you don't know what you're missing.
They're the real deal. I love the black diamonds from there, but all the varieties they have are good.
Oh, they are always spectacular. And
Look at all that watermelon.
it's fun to go. I mean,
Uh-huh.
sometimes it's a hot afternoon, but you know what you're getting into.
Right.
You know, wear something comfortable, wear comfy shoes, cool clothes, take a fan or a shade,
They have a lot
your
of shade.
sunglasses.
Yeah.
It's a full fun day.
Look at that. It's a
and
state fair type of atmosphere. So
yes,
yeah,
yes.
it's so
And you
cool.
can try all different types of watermelons, like
Uh-huh.
all different varieties, which
Yeah.
I always thought was kind of cool. And look there, yes, they absolutely give out ribbons,
The
like the
ribbons
fair
for
does.
the various varieties of the. Well, that looks good. For the different varieties of watermelon there.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. All right, I think
You've about talked me into that one.
I know. Okay. Okay, we have time for two of our bizarre holidays.
Okay. Just
Carrie, you pick one first.
I am going to pick International Scuba Day.
that's unusual, all right. But
Yep.
I'm doing this because it sounds good. National Root Beer Float Day.
Okay,
great.
root beer float sounds perfect on a hot afternoon in Oklahoma.
Right.
All right, we'll see you again tomorrow.